All right, to do this exercise, when you click on the link in the OneNote notebook, it's going to take you actually to the published version of an app. And you can actually work it on your computer screen. So this is an app that the idea is you type in a color and you click submit, and the dot will change color. Right now, it's only programmed to work if you type in red. So if I type in red and I hit submit, the dot turns red. If I type in anything else, right now, the dot turns white. Okay, so we're going to be working with this, and what you're going to do is remix it like you used to remix Scratch projects, same kind of thing. So you're going to click on View Code, and if you're not already signed in, you want to sign in, same way you always sign in. It should take me right back there. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. All right, sign in and then go back to the page. Let's try it again now that I'm signed in. All right, view code. All right, so the object is sign in first and then you'll get it. And then once you've got it open here, you're going to click remix up here, and then it'll be your own. Okay, then it'll say remix FL stock color. All right, so we're going to work with this. All right, so it's once again, this is really simple, and you can do anything you want to do to fancy it up and make it prettier. The screen is it's just one screen, and here is the code for it. I used Turtle code. I could have used the canvas, but it's too complicated right now. We'll get into that at some other time. So we started with the Turtle functions that you already kind of worked with. So this hide function, all this does is hide that the little arrow that is the turtle. So we didn't really need to see that. We just wanted to see what it would do. Pen down, obviously, you have to put the pen down or you don't get anything. So the initial dot is the color's black. So whatever color you make it, it's going to stay that color till you change it. So it starts by being black. So when I click run here, this is what's just happened. It's hidden the little arrow thing. If I didn't have that, you would just see an arrow somewhere. You can play with it and experiment. You can't mess it up. But it starts with a black dot that's 50 pixels. So that's what it is. This 50 means how wide is the dot. 50 pixels wide. Okay, so now here's the actual coding part. And once again, this is all about the if-else statement. So here you go. So this is the if part. So if text, get text. Now text input 1, if you go back to design, that's what, if you click on here, it's text input 1. Since it's only there, I didn't feel the need to rename it at all because there's not much we need to do with it. But you should rename it if you're going to have to be able to figure out what it is. So so what I'm going to do is I want to see if that is equal to red in this particular case. So remember that 2 equal signs really means equal. If it's 1 equal sign, you're just assigning some value to a variable. Okay, so in this case, we really want to make sure it's really, really equal. And because red is text, it is a string. We haven't learned too much about that. Just take my word for it. You have to enclose it in quotation marks. Okay, so this is saying if get text tells me what's in there already, because we assume once somebody hits submit that there is something in there. So they're going to get the text, and if that text that's in input 1, right, you could get text somewhere else, but in this case we want input 1, is equal to red, then it's going to change the pen color to red and make a dot 50. Now what it does is it actually creates a new dot on top of the dot that's already there. Okay, it doesn't actually change the color, it just creates a new one over it. And remember that unless you change the color, it would stay the same. So this is where we change the color. Now we have an else, the other part of this statement, the if-else statement. If anything else is typed in here, because I have no parameters, if anything at all is typed in there that's not red, now also remember that this is red with lowercase letters, that makes a difference, then anything else, we're going to change the dot to white so that you can tell that you put something in there that wasn't there. All right, so once again, I'm going to run it. I'm going to type in blue. I'm going to hit submit. and it turns white with the outline so you can still see that it's there. All right, so a couple of things. I'm going to want you to look at this, make sure you understand it. I want you to actually add comments. Let me show you how to add a comment. In programming, and we're going to do a lot more of this later in the class, but I'm going to always want you to put a comment is something you put in the code that the computer doesn't read. It passes right by it, but it's for humans to look at. The comment is under functions here, and here it says comment. All you have to do is drag it out and put it up at the top wherever you want to put it. You can put it right before each line. And in this case, I'm going to just say the first command is to hide the turtle. T-U, spell it right, turtle. Okay, and you can put these comments all the way through anywhere you want, and I can still run the program, and it will still work. Okay, so please do that with all your stuff. Actually, for this lesson, if you make any changes to this, and you're gonna, that's part of the assignment, please use the comment above any changes that you make. I'm gonna pull this one out. Actually, I'm gonna pull this one out now too, because you guys are gonna get to this. And so, yeah, please put comments in so I know what you did. We'll work more on that, and I will give you comments on your comments if I don't think they've been clear enough. But it will help you understand what part of the program you're in when you're writing it, and it will help me understand what your thinking was when you were doing it. Okay, so let's say, for instance, I wanted to, what if you wanted this to be, well, red with a capital letter. Now, when you do it on your phone was going to automatically make that R capital because phones always do that. So you could decide to use a capital R for that. One of the things you might want to explore, and this is probably something I think I have in the assignment, is how would you set this up so that it could be with a capital letter or a lowercase letter. We looked at the operators that were or. Maybe you could experiment and see if you could figure out how to get that to happen so that you could make this be an or. Now, one little hint if you do it is you can't make this, you would have to say, the whole full statement would have to say if text input is equal to red with a lowercase, or if text input was equal to, or you could say, or text input was equal to red with uppercase. You couldn't just say if text, you can't put the equal sign between red with a lowercase and red with an uppercase. You have to do the full get text on either side. So see if you can figure that out. That's great. None of this is required. I just wanted to see what you can do to play with it. If you can't think of anything to do, I mean, I'd love you to do things like add different colors so that when you type in blue, it turns blue. If you type in green, it turns green. So that's the simplest thing for you to try to do. Also, just to let you know, on this if block, if you want to put a couple of if else's, because you can do that, you just click this plus and it's going to add an if else in there. If you want to just reuse an if statement, you can do that too. But experiment, take your time. I want you to take time on this. I want this to take you a couple of hours to work through. I want you to really kind of get familiar with what's going on here. But you can do as much as you want to this. I just want you to experiment and see where it'll go. Maybe you can put in some text here that when you put in the text that says 2, maybe it'll pop 2 dots on there instead of just 1. But start with this basic program and see if there's something else you can do to make it more creative and more involved, and get to understand App Inventor a little more. So if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer you, but have fun and explore. It's all about exploration.